Welcome students. Today we will be doing chapter 17 from grammar, phrases and clauses. Now what is a phrase? The unit in a sentence comprising a group of words which helps in forming a sentence but doesn't make complete sense by itself is called a phrase. So when you will read out the sentence, you will find that it is not making a complete sense. You will not get the complete meaning. So it will be a phrase. Now, phrases are of 5 types. The central element in a phrase is known as the head of the phrase. It determines the type of each phrase. Example, a red bag was kept on the table. In the above sentence, the head of the phrase, red bag, is bag, which is a noun. The adjective red modifies the noun here. So, this is a noun phrase. A red bag. What type of bag was kept on the table? A red bag. Now the different types of phrases are noun phrase, adjective phrase, verb phrase, prepositional phrase and adverbial phrase. So noun phrase. The head of a noun phrase is a noun. My mother is happy. Head of the phrase here is mother. Adjective phrase. The head of an adjective. We already know adjective means describing words. Describes a noun. So the head of an adjective phrase is an adjective. Ria's sweater looks so cute. How does Ria's sweater look? It looks so cute. So head of the phrase will be cute. We give stress on the word cute. Verb phrase. Verb we know doing words. So the head of a verb phrase is the main verb. I have been reading the book since last week. So head of the phrase is reading. So give more stress on the doing word, that is reading. Prepositional phrase. A preposition acts as the head of a prepositional phrase. Rini went to the library this morning. Head of the phrase is to. Adverbial phrase. The head of an adverbial phrase is an adverb. He walked very fast. How did he walk? He walked very fast. So adverb we know modifies the verb. So head of the phrase will be here fast. So page 160. Fill in the blanks by making phrases with the words given in the box below. The number of blanks in each sentence indicates the number of words in each sentence. So you have to make phrase with the words given in the box. So number 1, microbes are quite very highly important. Your outfit doesn't look quite appropriate. The natural beauty of the Himalayas has turned it into an important tourist destination. The characters in Alice in Wonderland speak very hilariously. Tea plantation has a role in the Sri Lankan economy that is very important. So the phrases are mentioned in the brackets. So accordingly you have to make the phrase, right? Number 6, the plot was very hilariously constructed. Longer battery life is very important for the smartphones. Egypt is an important tourist destination for historians. The Great Gatsby is a quite highly acclaimed novel. Kashmir is a tourist destination. So now what is a clause? A clause is a group of words that contains a subject and a predicate. Now clause, it is a part of a sentence and it contains a subject and a predicate. A clause may form part of a sentence or constitute a sentence by itself. And just remember, a clause always has a verb in it, right? And it may or may not make a complete sense. So in the example number 1, you see, I am a student and my brother is a teacher. So there are 2 clauses in the above sentence. Like clause 1, I am a student. I is the subject here, am is the verb and a student is the predicate. And clause 2, my brother is the subject, is the verb, a teacher is the predicate. Now the sentences above have a subject, a predicate and a verb. Therefore, we call them clauses. Rabi says that he is a musician. Rabi says he is a musician. He started learning music from his father when he was very young. So clause 1, he started learning music from his father, and clause 2, when he was very young. Like a phrase, a clause is a group of words that may form a part of a sentence. But unlike a phrase, a clause has a subject and a predicate. A clause cannot be formed without a verb. Now identify whether the following sentences are phrases or clauses. Write C for clauses and P for phrases. Those red roses. See, number 1, those red roses will be phrase. Why it will be phrase? Because you are not getting the complete meaning. This sentence doesn't make a complete sense. It is incomplete. Those red roses. So we are not getting any complete sense here. So it will be a phrase. Citizens of this country. This is also totally incomplete. So it will be phrase. Now see number 3. We are proud of our tradition and culture. The sentence is already completed. It makes a complete sense. So it is a clause. Take your seats. Complete sense we are getting. So it will be a clause. Again, a tall pile of books behind the basket will be a phrase. The basket belongs to me will be a clause. So from number 7 to 15 will be your home assignment. You will do it and you will submit it in the assignment section. And if you have any doubt, you will ask me in the live class and the solution will also be provided. Okay. So page 162. Types of clauses. Now there are two types of clauses, independent clauses and dependent or subordinate clauses. Now what is an independent clause? Independent clause is also known as a main clause. Now read this sentence. Ali drives to work early. The given sentence has a subject Ali and a finite verb drives. Finite verb you already know, it is the main verb. Since the sentence has only one finite verb, we can say that the sentence is made up only one clause. Right? I repeat, the given sentence that Ali drives to work early. The given sentence has a subject Ali and a finite verb drives. Since the sentence has only one finite verb, we can say that the sentence is made up only one clause. Clauses that have a subject and a finite verb and make complete sense by themselves are called independent or main clauses. An independent clause can stand alone as a sentence. Why? Because we will get the complete meaning. Right? We will get the complete meaning from the independent or main clause. Now dependent clause or subordinate clause. Dependent clause is also known as subordinate clause. Read this sentence. Ali drives to work early. It will be main clause because we are getting the complete meaning. This tense makes a complete sense. Ali drives to work early. And clause B, second part you see, so that he can avoid the last minute rush. So this sentence is made up of two clauses. Clause A conveys the primary meaning. It provides information that is complete in itself. Ali drives to work early. So the meaning is complete. But clause B gives additional information. As clause A makes complete sense by itself and can stand alone as a sentence, it is the independent clause in the sentence. However, clause B depends on clause A to complete its meaning. It cannot stand alone. Now, dependent clauses, they are always dependent on the main clause to get the complete meaning, right? So, clause B depends on clause A to complete its meaning. Since it cannot be used on its own, it is known as dependent clause. Dependent clause cannot stand on their own. They have to depend on the main clause to get the complete meaning. A dependent clause depends on the main clause to make complete sense. A dependent clause is also known as subordinate clause as its value in the sentence is less than the main clause. Why? Because it is always depend on the main clause. And main clause, they can stand alone because they gives a complete meaning. Subordinate clauses are dominated by the main clause in a sentence. Now, the different types of dependent clauses are as follows: noun clauses, adjective clauses, and adverbial clauses. These clauses I will be discussing tomorrow. So, children, if you have any doubt, please ask me in the live class. Thank you, children.